The keys felt cold and heavy in my hand. We'd finally saved enough for our own place. The realtor's smile was too wide as she called the price a fantastic opportunity. The previous owners had left in a hurry, leaving behind furniture and even clothes. We didn't mind. The silence of the empty rooms felt peaceful at first. The first night we heard a faint scratching from inside the walls. I told my wife it was just the trees, but the scraping lasted for hours. The next morning, a hairline crack snaked up the living room wall. We shrugged it off as the house settling, a normal thing. That evening I saw a shadow slide quickly past the kitchen doorway. I called out, but my wife was outside. The house was empty. The air began to feel thick and heavy, hardest to breathe in the hallway. We started waking up exhausted, our dreams filled with running and hiding. My wife found a child's drawing under the rug, a picture of a family. Their eyes were scribbled out, the word mine written over and over. The scratching grew louder, now accompanied by a soft wet sound. The crack in the wall widened and I saw something dark move inside it. A sweet rotten odor filled the house like old fruit and soil. We argued constantly, a deep simmering anger that felt foreign. My wife started sleepwalking, whispering, "They're waiting in the walls." I found her standing in the spare room, facing a corner and whispering. She had no memory of it, but her eyes were distant and clouded with fear. The lights flickered, dimming whenever we entered a room. Our reflections in the windows moved a second after we did. I saw a pale, gaunt face with hollow black eyes behind me in the glass. I spun around, but the room was empty, a cold dread rooted in me. The temperature would drop suddenly, a patch of freezing air in the kitchen. We heard heavy, dragging footsteps from the master bedroom upstairs. I checked with a baseball bat. The room was empty, but the bed was unmade. The sheets were rumpled and cold, though we hadn't slept there. My wife's personality changed. She became quiet, jumpy, staring at nothing. She started setting the table for four, calling them our guests. Faint, overlapping whispers began to drift from the air vents. Then I heard my name, clear as day, in the voice of a small child. It said, "We're so glad you're home." And I felt my blood run cold. I tried to convince my wife we should leave immediately. She refused, saying the house was perfect, her eyes wide and bright. She said she loved the way it talked to her, and I felt afraid of her. The cracks in the walls multiplied, forming strange web-like patterns. A new door appeared in the basement wall, old and splintered with a rusty handle. I was certain it hadn't been there before. The house was changing. I forced the strange door open, finding a small earth-floored room. It smelled of damp earth and decay, with a shallow dugout hole in the center. Lying in the hole was a small bracelet woven from finger bones. I stumbled back, sickened, as the door slammed shut, locking me in. I pounded on the wood, screaming for help, met with echoing laughter. The door swung open to reveal my wife, her head tilted oddly. "They don't want you to leave," she said, her voice a chilling chorus. I tried to run for the front door, but the hallway stretched impossibly long. The walls pulsed like a living heartbeat. The front door receded into the distance. The pictures on the walls changed, our faces now screaming and distorted. The family from the child's drawing stood behind us in every photo. I turned to see my wife smiling, a wide, terrible smile that wasn't hers. "Welcome home," the house whispered from the floors, the ceiling, the air. The cracks in the walls opened like dark, liquid eyes, all staring at me. I'm still here. This is not a house of wood and plaster, but a living thing. It has been starving for a long time, and my wife is its perfect vessel now. She walks the shifting halls, humming its songs, bringing me plates of food. The food tastes of soil and whispers and old bones. I cannot eat it. The windows no longer show the outside, only a swirling, endless gray mist. Sometimes I see new people walking past, pointing at the house, looking excited. I try to scream to warn them away, but my voice is just a whisper in the walls. The house is getting ready for new guests, always looking for new family members. It is hiding the cracks, polishing the floors, making the rooms look perfect. I see the realtor's too wide smile outside, leading a young couple up the path. They are holding hands full of hope, seeing their future in these empty rooms. They cannot see me in the upstairs window or the terror on my face. They will get the keys soon. The keys will feel cold and heavy in their hands. The house is always so hungry, and it has already chosen its next family. I am just a memory now, fading, a story the house will tell to the new owners. A faint scratching in the walls at night, a shadow that moves just out of sight, a cold spot in the warm kitchen, a whisper that sounds almost like a name. They will tell themselves it's nothing, blame the wind, the pipes, the stress. They will fall into the same trap. The house is very, very patient. It always gets what it wants in the end. It always finds a new family to love it. The doorbell rings, a cheerful sound. The cycle is about to begin again. The young couple steps over the threshold, breathing in the sweet, rotten air. They call this place their new house, having no idea what lives here with them. The walls lean in to listen. The house holds its breath, ready to play. It is so good at playing house, and it has all the time in the world. My consciousness is fading into the plaster. I am becoming part of the hunger. The last thing I hear is the realtor saying, "It just needs a little love." The house agrees, drinking their hope. It is a new beginning for everyone but me. I am the last owner, a ghost, a warning that no one will ever hear. The new wife laughs in the living room, not seeing the crack forming behind her. It is a small hairline fracture, the first thread of the web. The husband jokes about the old pipes, not hearing the whisper underneath his laugh. They are so happy, so perfect. The house is already learning their fears. It will show them their deepest nightmares, twist their love into something terrible. It is a slow, delicious process. The house is in no rush to feed. It enjoys the game of family, loves the moment the hope finally dies. I try one last time to scream, but my voice is just a draft under the door. The new wife shivers and says, "It's a bit cold in here, isn't it?" The husband puts his arm around her. "It's just the new house settling," he replies. They have no idea what is coming. They are already part of the family now. The house sighs, content and full. It has new children to play with. The shadows in the hallway deepen. A faint scratching begins inside the walls. It is a familiar, welcoming sound, the sound of the new house waking up. The sound of a new story beginning, a story exactly like the one that ended. The story of the house that loves and the house that consumes.